Hello. Anyway, good afternoon. Good afternoon, all. And first thing, thank you very much for all the people who came yesterday. We raised quite a bit of money. Only 140 quid, but 140 quid is money. It's really good money. So thank you from deep in my heart, and that will go to the stroke. So anyway, so I was having a word with Megan earlier, and to tell you the truth, I'm really slow, me doing things. I am, and she said to me, "What do you want to do? What do you want to talk about?" And I said, "Well, what do you want to talk about?" Then I thought to myself, "I know what we're talking about." Then she said something back to me. So what I do want to talk about is about when relationships kind of are finished, and the hurt that we get from relationships, our relationships can hurt us.
Yep.
All right. Now I know, don't worry, I know that you just come out of a relationship, so
Yep.
I'll be nice to you. All right.
Oh, it's fine. It's 3 months now.
Unless you
Fire
give,
whatever you want at me.
unless you give me free sky, then I won't say anything.
Nice
Right.
try.
I think sometimes when we're in a relationship and when a relationship ends, when a relationship ends, we kind of we could be hurt from it. It depends because sometimes, we could, the partner will say to you, right, relationship over done with. I found somebody else, or they've gone off and everything. And sometimes that can really, really hurt. Now, I
Mhm,
don't know what you did in your relationship.
mhm.
If you kind of like got rid of him or he got rid of you, whatever. But
Yeah.
you must still be hurt from it. Are you hurt from your relationship?
To be honest, I'm always open with you about everything anyway. So my relationship didn't end because we didn't love each other, or it didn't end because there was somebody else in the picture. As I've said before, our relationship ended because we grew apart. So like I wanted to, for example, do my podcasts, and I wanted to do something completely out of the box. I wanted to go back into like acting or singing or something like that, and he wasn't supportive of it. And I said to him that I wanted to get into influencing on social media, and I told him that I was starting it and things. And then he went away to work for the week, and we were on the phone just talking, and I said to him, I was like, I'm not going to stop what I want to do in my life because you don't want to support me doing it. I was like, at the end of the day, at the time I was 22. So I was like, I'm 22. I've still got my whole life in front of me. I don't want to have limits. And all I said to him was, I'm just asking you to support me in the choices that I make. And he basically just turned around and says, I'm really sorry, but I can't do that. And he was like, it's not that I'm not trying to. He was like, but I just think that what you're wanting to achieve is unrealistic. He was like, and I'm not going to be there he went, I just can't support you in it. And then I kind of said, you know what, I'm not going to give up my dreams for you, because if that had happened, I would have looked back on my life when I was older and gone, why didn't I do what I wanted to do back then? And that's
Mm,
kind of how it went. And he said, I'm really sorry, but I can't do it anymore. And yeah, it really, really did hurt for a while. Do you know what I mean? Like, it broke my heart. But at the same time, like, I think in terms of grief from it, I got over it really quick, in the fact that, like, he had actually told me, I think it was the Tuesday, and he was coming home the Friday. So basically he said to me, there's no rush to get out the flat. Like, you can pack whenever you want. I'll just go back to my mum's. And you know what? It was kind of the thought that all of our memories were in this flat that we had got together, and I just wanted out of there. So I had like took basically the rest of my holidays to be off the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to pack everything that I had in that flat and move it back to my parents' house. And I kind of just had that, I need to like, it's done. There's like, because obviously when I was on the phone, I was heartbroken. Like, I was like, why can't we try and sort this? Why can't we talk about this? Maybe come back, we'll sit down, we'll have a think about it. And he basically just said, it's not going to change anything. We've been arguing all the time for so long. It's just not going to happen. And I think kind of ripping the band-aid off, not like knowing deep down that nothing's going to change it. Like, do you know what I mean? Nothing, no matter how much we would speak about it, no matter anything like that, it wasn't going to change. So I think the hardest thing, and I still remember it, and it did really break my heart, was his mum. Me and his mum are really close anyway, and we still are. We just don't discuss him. But she had helped me like get a van and move everything back to my mum's. So on the Friday where he came home, I just had to pack the last few things in my car. So he had come back and he was like sat on the couch, and I just had my bags ready at the door to just the last few things. And he sat down and he was like, "Are you okay?" I mean, what a stupid question to ask. Do you know what I mean? And I just completely like floods of tears. And he gave me a cuddle and he was like, listen, he was like, you will be okay. He was like, we're just going different ways. And I think driving away from the flat, like I actually said to him in the house, I was like, please do not come to the door. I was like, I'm already hurt and I don't want to look behind me and you be at that door watching me leave. I was like, I just can't do it. So I just shut the door behind me and drove all the way to my mum's, which was like a 45-minute drive, which I did have to stop a few times because I'm like heartbroken in the car. But it's been 3 months now. Do you know what I mean? And I did get over it pretty quick because I thought, you know what, there is no point moping about. It's not going to change anything, you know. And now I actually love being single, not being like having to tell people where you're going or what you're doing or who you're talking to, or having restrictions really, and having to worry about what the other person's doing. Or it's much better for me now, but it does there's still times where like it'll be late at night and I'm sat in my bed on my own and I'm like, I'll have a cry just because it was 2.5 years of my life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the trouble is, Lucy, in any relationship, you kind of, you're in a relationship and all of a sudden I remember when I was in a relationship and my wife then, I was looking after my kids, and she came in. She said, "Right, that's it. I want you out the house." She just came in late at night, around about 11 o'clock at night, and she said, "I want you out the house." Now I know where she was. I knew what she was doing. Right? I found out, and she was having an affair with my best friend. But but that was the best thing. What the best thing? It was.
I think it's easier to hate. I think it's easier to come away from a relationship if you hate the other person.
Well, I did hate her because I didn't hate her because of that. I was very disappointed that she could have told me, that what she was doing instead of doing it behind me. But that's that person. She hasn't got any morals anyway. So, she hasn't got anything. She's really, really horrible anyway. But I was worried about my kids, my children. So my children really came first with me, right? So I was so what happened with me was I went down, not about losing her, but from my kids. I felt depressed. I felt low. I felt suicidal. That my kids wasn't around me no more. She was stopping me from seeing my kids uh, for nothing at all. I had to go through all the courts. If I saw the kids in the street or anything, she said, "Stay away from them." I will um, go through the courts and everything. you know. And one day I saw her in no saw him, my so-called friend, in a social club, and that was it. You know, he went to the toilet, and I kind of like, well, but it's that was stupid of me, but I managed to get rid of it.
Hmm. I think
Totally.
I'm quite lucky at the age that I'm at that I don't have the worry of kids or, anything. We were lucky ourselves because it was his mum that mortgaged the flat. So it wasn't in our name. So we didn't have to go through all of that. Do you know what I mean? We didn't have to go through all that rigmarole. But I think, for a lot of people, like, especially with me, like, I can sit here and say that I don't hate him. Like, and it's hard because when I tell my friends or I tell my family, like, everything that he put me through, they're like, that's not right. Like, why were you even with him? And because I think when you're in a relationship with anyone, whether it's 2 months, 2 years, 10 years, you have a part of you that becomes that person. Do you know what I mean? They
Yeah.
become a part of who you are. So I think the grief that comes after a relationship ending isn't always specifically losing that person. It's because you have that person inside of you and you're now like, right, okay, I now need to get rid of that part of me. And I think that's one of the hardest things to do is actually kind of like cleanse yourself of that person and just 100% be you again. I think that's one of the hardest things that I found.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it?
Hmm. Oh, definitely. Like, I think what, again, I know a lot of people do this and I've mentioned it on previous podcasts, but, for me especially, I don't miss having a relationship. I miss having attention. I miss having somebody to snuggle with at night and just like the cheesy stuff is probably the way that I would put it. So then you then look for it, right? And you look for somebody to fill that hole, that hurt that you're feeling, to end up getting hurt again. And I think
Yeah,
that's even now, like, I'm not going to sit here and say that I've had rebounds because I haven't. But at the same time, like, I have been on dates, which I told you before, and it's ended up that the boys have been a bit of an arse, to be honest. And it's ended up hurting me even more. So I've gone into
yeah,
it
yeah,
vulnerable because I'm already hurting, putting,
yeah,
as my mum says, all my eggs into one basket for them to just kind of do one. And then I'm left again and I'm like, right, okay, well, that didn't work. And now I'm left with this hurt and this one, which never ever works or it doesn't work long term. So I used to
yeah,
listen to meditation. There was a meditation thing on YouTube that when I first went through the breakup, it is actually called falling asleep following a breakup. And I would just sob the whole 45 minutes of this meditation. There would be no sleeping. I would just be crying for 45 minutes. Do you know what I
oh,
mean? But
gosh. Some people kind of like when a relationship ends,
mhm,
they just kind of they just fall deeper into kind of like depression and anything.
mhm,
And the trouble is, they think, right, okay, I'm going to go out and meet somebody, but that's
mhm.
just a temporary thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To get a rebound, as you say. And
I
the trouble
think,
is,
yeah, I think when it comes to rebounds and things, it's a temporary confidence fix. I've actually had this conversation with my mum, believe it or not, in the last week. And she said to me, she was like, you're going on these dates with different boys. You don't want to come across as easy. This is her words, by the way. I'm like, I know, mum, I'm not doing anything. Like, it's just dates and stuff. And she said to me, she was like, what? Why are you doing like what you're doing? Why are you meeting up with people? Why aren't you just enjoying being on your own? And I said to her, I was like, for me, it's a confidence boost. Like having all these people, oh, you're so pretty, or oh, you look amazing. Do you know what I mean? It feels good at the time, but rebounds really do not work. And I have experienced one in the past and it ended up breaking me more and more. And I think where you said about people go deeper into depression, I have had those feelings. I'm not going to sit here and say that I haven't, but I think at some point in that depressive state, and I know it is so, so hard to do because I've been there, you have to sit down and go, the other person isn't feeling like this. the other person is getting on with their life how they want to. Why should you feel so vulnerable and so crappy in yourself that you're making yourself sad and you're making yourself depressed and you're not wanting to do anything? Like, you are worth so much more than that. Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, I didn't even get a happy birthday message off my ex, and I was with him for 2.5 years. That hurt. That really hurt, because I was like, do you know what? He knew it was my birthday, because his mum even bought me a birthday card and a birthday present, and he couldn't even send me a text message.
That's bad, isn't it?
So at that point, I was like, why should I mope around for this boy that really clearly doesn't care? And I think that's the hard thing. And it takes a while to get to that point. Luckily for me, my birthday was 2 months after the breakup. So mine was a very quick, right, okay, he doesn't care. Let's just get on with life.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have said about not kind of like, not encouraging you for doing what you want to do. It should be encouraging you,
Yeah.
to say, okay, I encourage you. What do you want to do? Podcast, fine. Whatever, two of you could have done it if he, I can't see what the problem was. It's not a problem, is it?
I think it's more like, I obviously said to him, like, when I was younger, I really wanted to get into acting and stuff, and I had gone through all the channels.
What's stopping you from going into acting?
I think it is a hard industry to get into. Like, I didn't go to acting school or anything like that, because, and I didn't
go to acting school.
Most of the nowadays you kind of do, right? But I'm on a website where basically you can apply for acting jobs and stuff. And I said this to him, and I was like, listen, I was like, this might not work. I was like, but how do I know unless I try? And he was like, he is very stubborn, and he is very logical in the fact that he doesn't believe in a lot of things. Like, it's either black or white. Like, and he said to me, he was like, the things that you're wanting to do, you're never going to achieve. And he was like, and to be honest, I don't support it because it's not logical. It's not realistic. Like, he's one of those people that, if you set yourself a goal, I don't know if you remember, but people say SMART goals all the time. So like, it's measurable and achievable and the time that it's going to take and all this jazz. Whereas like for me, I was like, I don't have a time scale of when it's going to be achievable. I don't know how long it's going to take me. I don't know how to measure it. I don't know how to achieve it. I just know that I have to start somewhere. And to him, he just didn't understand it.
Yeah, it's totally, I don't know, it's totally wrong, isn't it? It should be kind of like, he was in a relationship with you, so it should be encouraging you to do things instead of putting you down.
Yeah.
And what you
a lot of people go through it.
Yeah, but what you want to do in your life, never give up on anything that what you want to do.
Yeah.
I was speaking to somebody yesterday, right? We had this I'm a chairman of the stroke club, and I was speaking to somebody yesterday, and they said to me, Steve, sometimes I just want to end my life, and I've had enough of it swinging, right? And I said, but look what you got in your life now. Don't worry about what you had in the past. It's what you got now, right?
Yeah.
And think what you got now. And they said, oh well, I never thought of that before. I kept on looking in the past, and I said, yeah, but if you keep looking in the past all the time, it's going to make you more bad, more depressed, and it will get you down and everything. Look what you got now.
Yeah.
And I think when you go into bad relationships, you will get things will happen, but with you, I think because as you're still young, there's going to be somebody going to come along, and kind of take off your feet. Then next minute, your boyfriend or your ex will see you, I don't know, somewhere, and say, "Oh, I think I made a mistake."
Yeah. I think the funny thing is like, I was saying this to my mum the other day. You probably won't like what you're going to hear, but this is the person I was with. So, for example, say we were going out for a meal, right? I would say to him, oh, you look lovely, or you look really handsome. It wouldn't be thank you. It'd be, I know that I look good. Right. Okay, cool. So you couldn't have just said thank you. No, because I know that I look good. I look good all the time. Right, okay. So what was the other one that I was telling my mum the other day? To me, right, I am one of those people. Yes, I overthink everything, but I can be realistic, right? And I have sat down with this person before and said, do you know what? I am not going to sit here and say that I'm perfect. There is always going to be somebody that is smarter, better, prettier, smaller, whatever you want to think about, right? There's always going to be somebody that is going to be better. And he was like, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that idea because you're putting yourself down. And I was like, no, it's being realistic. I was like, I could see someone in the street and I could be like, Jesus, they're so much prettier. Like people would think that about everybody. Do you know what I mean? And he was like, oh no, I think I'm the best of the best. I'm nobody's better than me. Nobody's smarter than me. Nobody looks better than me. And I'm like, I don't know if you realize, but that's pure arrogance. And he was like, no, it's confidence. I was like, nah. Confidence is, yes, having confidence in yourself, what you look like and things. But the fact of not believing that there is somebody out there that will be better and smarter, I personally think is unrealistic. Right? And I'm not sad. That doesn't make me sad. Like, I know it sounds like it kind of puts you down as a person. To me, that doesn't. That's me sitting there going, do you know what? I am who I am. You either like it or you lump it, right? There is going to always be somebody better. And as we've said before, social media plays a big influence in girls and boys not thinking themselves good enough, right? It's going to happen. And you just got to try and accept it. You just got to try and accept there is going to be somebody that's maybe smaller build than you or prettier than you or smarter than you, but you can only be you and you can only make yourself better.
Do you put yourself down a lot?
Yeah, like
Why? Why do you put yourself down?
I think in my relationship I got put down a lot. So it's kind of built into me now. Like my mum, again, it's weird that you're saying all this, Steve, because I had this conversation with my mum yesterday, actually. She said, do you have a lot of self-worth? And I said, no. And she was like, I can see that because it's obvious. And she was like, what's something that you like about yourself? And it honestly took me about 10 minutes. And I says, oh, I like my teeth because my teeth have always been straight. They've always been white. I was like, I like the color of my eyes. I was like, and she was like, right, anything else? And I was like, no, not really. And she was like, but why? And I said to her, I was like, because at the moment, I'm not happy with who I am. And that is because, you know, there was a lot of, my ex used to put me down a lot. Like he used to say, oh, you need to go to the gym because your legs jiggle. You need to do more squats because your ass jiggles. Do you know what I mean? You need to do some sit-ups because your stomach's big. You look prettier without makeup. And I'm like, right, but I feel confident with makeup. You know, this is actually the first podcast I've done without makeup. So be honoured, by the way, but it's only because I've got a suntan. If I didn't have a suntan, I would have had makeup on. But it's like I would go out and I would properly like dress up and then he would call me a slapper. And he would go, why do you always got to dress like that? Why can't you just dress normal? So like one day I'd go out with like jeans and an oversized hoodie. Oh, that's much better. And I'm like, but that's because it literally shows nothing of me. Like it just shows somebody in baggy clothes, no fitting. Like it was as if he wanted me to go out so nobody else would look at me. Do you know what I mean? No makeup.
You love yourself.
No. Like I can honestly sit here and say no. I've not got to that point yet.
Why? Even, look, I'm going to say something here, right? And
I feel sorry for the viewers. They're like, we came on here for positivity.
No, people. I've got lots of people on my radio. I'm sorry. Look, I'm going to point something out to people who's listening to me on the radio. I am sorry. I'm about to say something, and everybody, you know what I'm like, so I'm going to say it clear. I think the trouble with you is this: that if you don't like yourself, then
I know what you're gonna say.
Go ahead, say it.
If you don't like, the saying is, if you don't love yourself, how is anyone else supposed to love you, and how are you supposed to love anyone else?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is this to you, right? Stop putting yourself down, right? Because at the end of the day, right? Don't worry about what's his name. he's gone, isn't he? He's gone.
Hmm.
He's gone out the door. What's that
Yeah.
song? Don't come back anymore. Gone
I
out
know.
the door.
Yeah,
You're
yeah, I
technically I
know.
can't remember what that song is. Um, I can't remember. But yeah, just get rid of just he's gone.
Yeah.
Start kind of like being more confident in yourself, and stop kind of like putting yourself down, because at the end of the day, your mum will tell you this, right? That relationships will come and go
Oh yeah,
when
she
you're
said
young.
that.
They will.
It's weird
Relationships
because it's like I'm talking to my mum.
are not your mum. Um, well, I, d- well, I don't.
You're both very wise. You're both very wise, is
Well,
what I
yeah,
mean.
but the trouble is, your mum. See, the trouble is, I can see where your mum's coming from, but the trouble is, you got to start putting yourself down. It's like if I put myself down, my wife will have a go at me. She'll tell you that, all right?
Hmm.
And vice versa. But with you, you're still young, right?
Yeah.
And you've got a job. You're doing everything with your life, and I
Hmm.
think for that you're doing well. You're doing your podcast. So what? When I felt, sorry, but so what about dickhead? All right.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
Sorry.
no, I have got a lot going on, and this is the thing that I need to remind myself. Obviously, I come on here with you. I have my own podcast. I've just had my email saying I'm accepted for my third year of uni, plus full-time work,
Well,
plus
there you
everything
go.
else. So I do know there's a lot there, right? But sometimes, as probably people know with listening, and you will know, sometimes it's hard to look at the positives.
Yes, but the trouble is, if you don't look at the positives, you're not going to move on, are you?
No, I
And
know.
you're not going to get into another relationship, are you?
I think like I have had this conversation right now. I'm not in a position that I want to be in a relationship because there is still a lot of building on myself that I need to do. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I have noticed like what you said there, you need to have confidence in yourself. I have noticed that I really
Well,
do
it's
need
good
to.
I don't have your telephone number, because I will ring your mum up and I'll tell her, and I will speak to your mum and I'll say, she keeps putting herself down.
Oh, she'll say, I know. I say to her all the time. Like, so like my
Yeah.
mum said to me like yesterday, because a lot of females, I don't know about guys because I've never heard of it about guys, but you could probably clear that up, right? But or somebody else could clear that up. But when I go for a breakup, right, there's some people that will overeat because they're depressed, and there will some people that won't really eat. I'm the one that doesn't really eat, right? So I've been single for about 3 months next week or whatever it is. And I've lost about a stone and 5 pounds since being single,
Well
right?
done. Well done.
I know there's still a long way to go, but the thing for me is like I have friends and I love them to pieces, and I have family and I love them to pieces who say, you look fine. And having somebody to say that is great, but if you don't feel it in yourself, then it doesn't matter what other people tell you.
Mm.
And as I said to my mum, I was like, I know that I am not in a bad shape. I know that I'm not in a bad place. But for me to have my confidence back, I want to be how I was before I met him. And to
Mm.
do that, there's a lot of work that needs to happen, not just physically, mentally. I need to go back to not needing a guy's approval, not needing a guy to
Mm.
compliment me to feel good. Do you know what I mean? And obviously with COVID as well, it's really hard because I used to like after my last breakup, I would go into work in the contact center with my hair straight, my makeup done every day. Do you know what I mean? I used to make an effort with myself, and I would see my friends, and a lot of people obviously find the same thing at the moment with not seeing other people and not having to make that effort. And
Mm.
my mum said to me the other day, because obviously I'm working from home at the moment, she said to me when I first came back, I want you to get in somewhat of a routine. And I was like, right, well, I'm working from home. I don't really need a routine. And she was like, no, listen to me. So I was like, right. So she went, I want you to start making your bed every day. So I was like, right, okay, cool. And so I started making my bed every single day. And she said, right, it's been 2 weeks. You've made your bed every day. I've not had to remind you once. Now I want you to get dressed every day. I'm like, but I'm working from home. Nobody sees me. Like getting up, getting into like a lounge wear or like just some baggy pajamas is amazing. And she's like, no, I want you to get dressed. I want you to brush your hair. I want you to make an effort. So I've been doing that. And she was like, you see, if you add one thing at a time, it will become routine. Like, don't get me wrong, Saturday just gone, I did wear my pajamas because I was having a lazy day and it was like, I just could not be bothered. But that's the thing. Like, I think that's something that I have really learned is to get yourself into a routine or create good habits. You need to start one at a time and you need to give yourself a time period to do it. So now, like when I get up, the first thing I do is I make my bed, I open my windows, I open my curtains, I get changed, I get dressed, I have a coffee. It's now become a routine, like every single day, day in, day out. So now I can start adding new things in. But coming back to the whole ending of relationships and hurt and stuff, relationships are always going to hurt. Any type of ending of any relationship is going to hurt. Friendship, relationship, losing family, do you know what I mean? It's all going to hurt. You just have to learn to deal with it.
Yeah. Now I've got to ask you some questions. Hang on for a 2nd. Let me get my list. Here we go. Right. Okay. I've got to ask you some questions, right?
Yep.
And you've got to put yes or no.
Okay.
Right. Let me get it. Not that one. Oh goodness.
I like the last test. The last test said I was independent.
Right. Okay. So yeah,
Okay.
the last test. Okay. Here we go. What is your best? What do you like? What do you like best about yourself?
I would probably say my personality more than anything. I think I'm quite funny. I like to cheer people up too.
Right. Okay. Good. Right. And also, where is it here? Oh, here we go. Right. Um, if somebody fell over on the street, would you either go over and help them, pass them by, or just completely ignore them?
Help them.
Right. Okay. Here we go again. Right. Also, the third one is if your mum came up to you and said she wants you to do the washing, say, would you do it immediately, palm her off, or tell her to do it yourself?
See, I would do it, but I don't think I would do it straight away. So I'd probably have to go with the palmer off.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Being honest.
Right. Okay. When you get up in the morning, what do you do? What's the first thing? Make a cup of coffee. Brush your hair. Right. Or eat your breakfast.
See, the very first thing that I do in the morning isn't actually on there. I look at my phone first thing in the morning. But if it's after that, I would probably say brush my hair.
Right. Okay. Okay. Hold on to that for a minute about the phone.
Okay.
Right. When you got your mobile, how long do you spend your time on a mobile phone?
I would probably. I actually have an app that tells me how much usage I have, like I do every day. I'm pretty sure the last time I checked, it was about 20 hours a day.
20 hours a day. 20 hours
Something
a day.
like that.
And on your phone, what do you do on your phone?
Social media.
Social media.
Maybe
Right,
music.
okay.
Music sometimes as well, but mostly social media.
Okay, hold on to that. Right. Okay.
Okay.
And the last thing, what kind of music, right, betrays you?
What kind of music portrays me?
Yeah.
That's a tricky one, actually. Hip hop, I'd say.
Hip hop.
Or pop, whichever one comes up.
Okay. This is your result. Very very feisty person
Hmm.
who likes taking a lot of selfies.
Yep, that is actually spot on. Keep going.
Is it?
Yeah.
Who likes taking a lot of selfies. Sometimes
Mhm.
very selfish, arrogant. Don't get if you don't get things your own way, you get moody. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty spot on. To be fair, not a
Well,
good
there you
thing,
go.
but yeah, it's pretty spot on.
There you go. That's what it says. I did one earlier about me, and it says here. I did do it. Yeah, and mine was uh, you need to. What was it? You need to be taught the word intelligent. You're not very intelligent. You're
Well, that's
very
definitely not true.
you're very eager to please,
Hmm.
and what's it? Oh, and you run away from problems when problems arise. I don't at all, do I? Do I? Okay. You
Oh,
horrible
I'm
person.
sorry. I'm sorry. She's so funny. You were just like, I don't do that, and she was like, you do.
Anyway, how did your birthday go, by the way?
Well, so my family came up from where we used to live in Southport. And what day was it? Was it actually my birthday? No, I think it was basically one day I got extremely drunk, right?
Mm,
To the point that I passed out, which I'm not proud of, by the way.
right.
Not proud of. Because we had that discussion saying that I don't drink very much. So my family came up, it was my birthday. So we went for a meal on the Thursday night. And then the Friday was just kind of like bits and bobs that we were doing. And then Saturday, I think, was the day that I got a little bit drunk. The problem was, though, is I was mature, right? I had 2 drinks, but then they got the shots out. And my mum did say to me, Steve, she did warn me. She says, do not have any more shots. You cannot handle them. Me being drunk, stuck my middle finger up. I'm sorry, that is disrespectful. I acknowledge that. Put my middle finger up at her and carried on doing the shots. About 15 minutes later, I was puking my guts up in the garden.
Yeah.
Absolutely just so ill, right? I had to get somebody to escort me to the bathroom. I then got in the shower and sat in the shower, fully clothed for an hour to try and sober myself up, which did not work, by the way. And yeah, that's all I can remember. But I had a 3-day hangover, which has really put me off drinking now.
Yeah. What you did? I thought you would. Didn't you do some dancing?
Yeah, so I did. Which I woke up in the morning with a bruise, well, a couple of bruises all over my legs from where I was dancing and must have fell over.
Oh,
But yeah.
because I saw you dancing. Actually, I saw you.
Did you?
Happy birthday, by the way.
Oh yes. Oh, you're so cheeky.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Uh,
Oh God.
uh,
Thanks very much
well,
for that, Steve. If it
That's
wasn't for the
okay.
sunburn, I would be blushing really bad. I literally said to my mum, see if we go for this birthday meal and there is anything at all on that table with happy birthday, any balloons or anything, I was like, I will walk straight out.
Why?
It's just embarrassing. I'm 23. Do you know what I mean? I'm not 16 anymore. I don't need all that.
Why not?
Because
Why
I'm
don't you?
getting older. You don't need like my friend bought me a balloon, right? And I know I do actually have you on Facebook. I, the other day, sucked all of the helium out of the balloons, right? And I had so much fun. But see, about 20 minutes after, I had such a bad migraine. Like my head was absolutely banging because I just had the whole lot of helium. And yeah, so no, I just don't have the whole happy birthday banners and balloons and stuff because I just don't see the point. Don't see unless when I get to 30, when it's actually a big one, then fair enough. But 23 is nothing.
So you're 23 now, then?
Yes,
Oh,
I am indeed.
You're 23. 2 years time, you're going to be like 25.
Thanks very much for that, Steve. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right. I got in one of my birthday cards, 7 years until you're 30, and I honestly wanted to kill someone.
Well, you know,
7 years.
you're getting older now.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, you know, and the walking stick's on its way.
Just because you're on the other side of the screen doesn't mean you can get cheeky.
Well, I can. But anyway,
listen, me and your wife are close, right? I'll get her to give you a slap across the head if you carry on.
All right, okay. I will tell her to. Yeah. But then, see, what happened to me was, see, what she doesn't realise, folks, is this: that she went shopping, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, and when you went shopping on your birthday, was it your birthday you went shopping?
Oh, mate, I go shopping all the time. You're going to have to be more specific. Was it the Pandora stuff that you're referring to?
No.
I'm a little bit worried.
No, I just want to find out what you were doing here. Hang on.
Are you just there we go. Oh no, again.
Hang on. This is good. This is going to be good for you. This is you actually dancing.
I bet it is. Oh God. How did you get that? I thought that was private. I don't even know how that got on the internet. God damn it.
That's you.
It is. It is me.
No, it's not at all.
I wish I had moves like that.
This is when you're young. This is when you get older.
What's she doing? That's the polishing the shelf and stacking the shelves and that kind of dance. I see what she's doing there. Oh my.
That's you.
Oh dear. Oh, they're doing the dirty dancing dance. Oh, okay. This will be me. This will be me.
Boyfriend hurt.
No, that's definitely me. I've got more style. That would be me. Look at him. He's having so much fun. Oh, my mum can tell you that I do dance in the kitchen like that sometimes. Oh, bless her. Look how much fun she's having. Oh, Jesus, right, okay. She's got a lot of energy, hasn't she?
Oh yeah. And this is me.
I tell you
Well,
what, he's got some good footwork.
well, there you go. There you go. Enough of the happy birthday. Anyway,
Thanks.
thanks very much for joining me today.
No worries. It's a pleasure as always.
You hated that, didn't you?
I did. The happy birthday stuff I hate, but everything else was fine.
I forgot the cake one. Hang on a second. I couldn't get the cake one.
Oh, no.
No.
You're joking, right?
Anyway, folks, if you want to listen to this is on be on the website in around about 5 minutes. Thank you, Megan, for joining me.
Bye.
And she's still trying to work out now. How is she going to get me back? So good luck
It's
with that
more
one.
to be fair, we'll sort something. Obviously, I love coming on here. You know that. It's just it is going to get a little bit hectic once my uni starts again, but we'll work something out.
Yeah, we will do. Okay.
All
Hey,
right.
Megan, but you'd never get me back, so don't worry about it. Right? Okay.
All right, Steve. Right.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.